Many deniers of the evolutionary theory state that natural selection is blind, and therefore something as complex as the prokaryotic cell flagellum could not evolve. They also claim that complex parts of a cell would be non-functional if one single protein would be removed from the part. They call these complex parts of a cell irreducibly complex, which means that they believe something has affected the creation of life, instead of believing in the evolutionary theory. In addition, they state that the irreducible complex theory is a genuinely scientific theory, which therefore is at least as important as the evolutionary theory. My answer to that is following. Complicated parts of the cell don't arise at once. Several factors indicate that parts of cells are under constant development, and therefore no organism remains the same forever. Small organism that seems to have no function alone may change structure by the cause of a mutation during the cell reproduction, and in turn bind with other proteins via, for example, peptide bonds or disulfide bonds. As a result, one mutation may lead to a completely new protein complex with other possible functions than the previous complex. These functions are more suitable for the survival of an organism. They are passed on to the offspring of the organism, and so the species change. For example, bacterium flagella, which by many creationists, including the evolution critic Michael Behe, is considered to be irreducibly complex, is in fact just a result of the evolution and the thousands of survival-helping mutations that have occurred since the formation of the first prokaryotic cell. In addition, according to the irreducible complex theory, if a part of a functional complex is taken away from the complex becomes non-functional. However, in reality this is not true. If 40 proteins would be taken away from the flagellum protein complex, a new complex called the type 3 secretory system would be formed in the same prokaryotic cell which was previously equipped with a flagellum. The type 3 secretory system is an essential part of many prokaryotic cells, and in some cases it may even be required for their survival. Accordingly, the irreducibly complex theory is wrong, since its main argument, which states that a functional protein complex don't work when a part of the complex is taken away, is proven to be wrong. Furthermore, as mentioned before, the flagellum of a prokaryotic cell is a protein complex, which therefore should be non-operative at certain temperatures and at acidic or alkaline environments. Nevertheless, the existence of prokaryotic cells that function in acidic environments once again shows that the irreducibly complex theory is wrong, since these prokaryotic cells have organelles which in turn are made of proteins. These organelles would obviously not be functional unless they have adapted certain properties to the environment they are present in. If the irreducibly complex theory would be true, an adaptation towards the environment would be impossible, and there would be no prokaryotic cells present in acidic environments. This is not the case. The Heliobacter pylori is a great example of that, because it is a bacterium which is known for functioning inside the stomach. In addition, the Heliobacter pylori has many different organelles, including flagella that are made of polypeptides. Since the environment of the stomach is extremely acidic, with a pH of approximately 2, the existence of a protein-made bacterium inside the stomach would be impossible if the irreducibly complex theory would be correct. As a result, the existence of the Heliobacter pylori inside the stomach once again proves that the irreducibly complex theory is wrong. Finally, I would like to point out that a comparison between a flagellum of a prokaryotic cell and a mousetrap lacks scientific base. The mousetrap is a human invention that exists with a purpose. The mousetrap can't reproduce itself. It's not an organism which would get affected by an eventual climate change, and it is not alive. The flagellum of a prokaryotic cell is a part of a living organic cell which can reproduce. The flagellum is consequently built up according to a template which corresponds to the prokaryotic cell DNA. Comparing the complexity of a mousetrap with the complexity of a flagellum is therefore the same thing as comparing the reproduction abilities of a television with the reproduction abilities of a human being. Prokaryotic cell DNA. Prokaryotic cell DNA. Comparing the complexity of a mousetrap with the complexity of a flagellum is therefore the same thing as comparing the reproduction abilities of a television with the reproduction abilities of a human being. Comparing the complexity of a mousetrap with the complexity of a flagellum is therefore the same thing as comparing the reproduction abilities of a television with the reproduction abilities of a human being.